People with HPA dysfunction typically have symptoms like fatigue, brain fog, poor memory, poor quality concentration. They don't get good sleep at night. They're tired but wired, which means physically they're tired, but they can't get their mind to stop racing. They suffer from depression, anxiety, and they may even have trouble losing weight. Now, these issues are all pointing to HPA dysfunction. These symptoms are broad, so having any of them doesn't necessarily mean that you're dealing with HPA dysfunction automatically, but what it does mean is that HPA dysfunction is probably playing a central role in these symptoms, especially if the person has dealt with a lot of stress in their life in the past several years. HPA dysfunction can play a negative role in a lot of different areas of health. For instance, it plays a huge role in creating issues within the endocrine system, and it's also correlated to issues in neurological health, with digestive function, with immunity and detoxification, even in energy metabolism. It correlates to dysfunction in virtually every system of the body in one way or another that results in poor performance at work, with your family, even in the gym. It deteriorates your health, and stress is what lights the fuse. So the question becomes, where do I begin? And that's where I come in. In dealing with HPA dysfunction, you're never dealing with one system. You have to work across systems. And on paper, this can look very complicated, but my job as a functional medicine coach is to distill all of this information down into an easily understood, executable program that the client that I'm working with can work with day by day. And so the programs that I build for clients address the areas that, by supporting, will have the greatest impact on how they feel. These programs are rooted in proper evaluation of the client and not just their symptoms. We do a very thorough health history. In-depth client interviewing is done. We also take into account any labs that their doctor has received in the past 3 to 6 months. And on top of that, specifically based on their symptoms, there are additional labs that I will order that will work from. When you're dealing with HPA dysfunction, you have to be a bit of a detective. You have to ask the right questions in order to make the most sense out of the person's condition. So we work together first to normalize stress. Next, we'll correct the imbalances, and then we'll start to build resilience so the person can avoid a reoccurrence of everything that they've been through. And this is all done with natural therapy. If anything that I've said has struck a chord with you, then I would strongly encourage you to hit the Start Now button and send me a message and tell me a little bit about what you've been going through. That way I can get back to you. We'll set up a time we can speak in more depth in person, and I can help you understand what I'd be able to do for you and if moving forward with me would be the right thing.